There is a person who has never received recognition from their father since childhood. But the melodies he created made the whole world feel warm. He has the opportunity to replace a female teacher on board the Challenger. The space shuttle later exploded into fragments in mid-air. A few years later, he was piloting a small airplane that he had assembled himself. Finally, it fell into the Pacific Ocean. The last few words he left on the radio calmly make people feel an indescribable fear. At first, everyone thought it was just an accident. But when you delve deeper, you will find things are much more complicated than they seem on the surface. Today, let's talk about John Denver. What is hidden behind that smile? He was born at the end of 1943 in Roswell. Yes, I heard you correctly. This is the place where alien rumors spread later. His father was a legendary pilot in the Air Force. It's easy to break through the sound barrier when flying a bomber, obtain countless records, but this person has never said 3 words to his son, "I love you." Because of the nature of my father's job, Little John's family always moves. When he was a child, he lived in 5 different states. Every time I get familiar with the environment, I have to leave again. No chance to make friends who can tell the truth. He tried to run away from home. The feeling of being abandoned on the edge of the world has always accompanied him. He always feels like an intruder, not belonging to any place. When he was 11 years old, his grandmother gave him an old guitar as a gift. In this military family, be ready to pack your luggage at any time. Only that guitar made him feel at least one thing is stable. When he reached the age where he should go to college, in order not to disappoint my father, he bravely went to study architecture. But once music becomes deeply ingrained in our bones, you can't control it. He dropped out of school after only 2 years of studying. I went to Los Angeles alone with my guitar. Reality quickly taught him a lesson. An industry insider directly told him, "Your German surname is very long and difficult to pronounce. No one remembers what was written on the poster. Make a name for yourself in this industry." He made a decision. I gave up the surname my father gave me. Use your favorite capital of Colorado. I changed my name for myself, John Denver. It's like wiping away the marks left on his father's body with my own hands. After changing the name, luck came. He stood out among over 200 competitors. I became the lead singer of a popular folk group. During that time, he wrote a breakup song when giving Christmas gifts to friends. Therefore, after being covered by another band, it rises directly to the top of the chart. You must have heard this song before. The jet plane that is about to take off. But the problem is, if this song is popular, then this person is not popular. The band disbanded soon. 5-year-old John has returned to the starting point. After signing with the record company, he released 3 consecutive albums. They all jumped onto the street. Just when he was about to be forgotten by the entire industry, a car accident injured his thumb. But surprisingly, it opened another door. That night, he went to his friend's house with his injuries. I heard them playing an unfinished melody. That song was originally written by me for someone else. 3 young people stayed up all night and changed it to 6 a.m. in the morning. This song later became popular worldwide. The Rural Path Takes Me Home. Ironically, this song is about West Virginia. At that time, none of the 3 of them had been there. This song completely exploded. In just a few years, he went from a struggling singer to a global superstar. One golden song after another. He has performed at the White House before, hosting programs with big stars. I have also acted in a movie. But just as he was standing at the highest point, another collapse has quietly begun. When the music industry develops smoothly, but his marriage is starting to have problems. Wife Anne is used to peaceful days. She can't tolerate constantly pursuing the spotlight in life. 2 people chose adoption because they couldn't have children. But the emotional rift is getting bigger and bigger. After a brief separation, he took a cable car up the mountain in Aspen. Just 10 minutes. He suddenly had a flash of inspiration. I wrote the later very famous song, Anne's Song. This song did indeed reconcile them at that time, but this cannot truly save this marriage. There are too many temptations after becoming famous. Medications and various things make him look different from himself. Annie filed for divorce in 1982. John completely lost control at that time. He rushed into the house with a chainsaw, cut off a corner of the dining table directly. Then I saw two people sleeping on the same bed in the middle. When Anne later mentioned this matter, she said, "Someone who can write gentle love songs." There is also a madman holding a chainsaw in front of me. There are only two people at all. In the year when the relationship completely broke down, John found a way out on another matter. He started learning how to fly. This is also the only thing his indifferent father is good at. This Air Force father, who has won countless honors, personally taught him how to fly airplanes. In the narrow cockpit, father and son finally found a tacit understanding without the need for conversation. John enjoys flying, accumulated over 2,700 flight hours, even bought his own private plane. But that was also 1,982. His father suddenly passed away. Lost his wife and father in the same year. He threw all his emotions into the sky. Flying is just the beginning. He wants to fly higher. In the 1980s, he actively participated in space projects. Passed all rigorous tests by astronauts. He thought he would become the first ordinary person to enter space. But the president's phone call changed the candidate. Replace his female teacher on the Challenger. 73 seconds after takeoff, it exploded in midair along with the space shuttle. Death passed by him, but he still hasn't given up the idea of flying into space. He even spent millions of dollars to go to the Soviet space station, although it ultimately did not succeed. But his obsession with the sky has reached a crazy level. Life on the ground has once again fallen into the quagmire. He married a young singer who was 17 years younger than him, miraculously gave birth to a biological daughter. The doctor said before that he couldn't have his own child. But this marriage only lasted for a few years before it broke up. Divorce lawsuits are a mess. John painfully began to anesthetize himself with alcohol. Drunk driving not only leads to collisions, the Aviation Administration also revoked the flight license. No longer eligible to fly legally, but he still secretly flew the plane into the sky. Until 15 days before the tragedy occurred, he bought the plane that took his life. At the end of September 1997, John bought a second-hand assembled airplane. What he doesn't know is, this plane has a fatal design flaw. The fuel tank valve has been retrofitted to the upper back of the driver's left shoulder. This means that every time the fuel tank is switched, the pilot must twist their body 90 degrees and then touch it backwards. Imagine when you are driving, turn around and get what's in the back seat. That's how it feels. 10 days later, John completed his final performance of his life. He looks very calm on stage. At that time, he had just finished recording a children's album. This album will be released after his death. Bring him the only Grammy trophy of his life. The day before the plane crash, John only flew this plane for half an hour. He and the mechanic both found it difficult to operate the valve, but this cannot be solved. Before takeoff the next afternoon, the mechanic warned him clearly that there was not much oil left and actively offered to refuel, but John refused. He thinks that just flying for an hour is enough. After takeoff, he repeatedly practiced aerial landing. This accelerates the already low fuel consumption. When the plane flies over the Pacific Ocean, the right fuel tank is empty. Switch to the left fuel tank. John had to twist his body hard to reach the valve. The investigation report shows that at this moment, he turned around. His right foot accidentally stepped on the extremely sensitive rudder pedal. The plane immediately lost control and began to spin. Only over 100 meters away from the coast, plunged into the sea with one head. His last words were left on the radio. A calm and professional tone. "Can you receive the signal now?" Then there was a silence. The autopsy proves that he did not drink alcohol or take medication at that time. He calmly faced all of this. This folk poet warmed countless people with his singing voice. Finally, in such a ridiculous and heartbreaking way, he sang his whole life between the blue sky and the sea. After his death, the governor ordered the flag to be lowered to half-mast. The memorial service will be held under his favorite starry sky. Ashes scattered in the towering Rocky Mountains. A few months later, that children's album won him a Grammy Award, the trophy he had been longing for before his death. Unfortunately, he can no longer hear his own name. Later, several of his representative works were selected as the official national anthem. My ex-wife Anne built a memorial park for him by the river, carved the lyrics on a giant rock. As time goes on, moss slowly crawls between the lines. Like those melodies that still breathe in nature. He sold over 30 million records in his lifetime. I have written hundreds of classic songs, but the public only remembers his sunny smile. But he doesn't know how much weight he's carrying behind his back. He has a father who can break the sound barrier, but cannot express love. In order to get rid of his father's shadow, he changed his surname. On the cable car, he can write the most sincere love song in 10 minutes. You can also wave a chainsaw in despair and cut off the wedding bed. He accidentally dodged the aerial explosion of the Challenger. But in the end, he still couldn't shake off his obsession with the blue sky. Flying is the only language he communicates with his father. This also became the ultimate destination of his life. I bought it 15 days before the plane took off. Fuel tank valve position error. Refusing to fill up the fuel tank. Let him stay forever under the sunset of the Pacific Ocean. If this story gave you some feelings, I hope you can subscribe. Tell me in the comment section, which song by John Denver did you listen to for the first time? Perhaps we have heard the same melody before. Perhaps at some point, we will all be moved by the same lyrics. Thank you for listening to me finish this story. In the next issue, we will discuss the unknown side of another legendary superstar. See you next time.